I'm excited to welcome back to the podcast Nikki Boyd of At Home with Nikki. Nikki is a professional organizer in the Charleston, South Carolina area who started her business 6 years ago with a YouTube channel. Her brand has now expanded into a local professional organizing business, a new book called Beautifully Organized, virtual coaching services for clients all over the world, and much more. I know you guys will enjoy this. Welcome back to the podcast, Nikki.
You're listening to the Pro Organizer Studio podcast with Jen Obermeyer. Thank you for joining in. Jen makes it her mission to broaden the horizons of savvy businesswomen in the organizing industry by instilling confidence and inspiring authenticity. She is a devoted business coach and founder of the Inspired Organizer program. Each week, you'll gain new insight into strategies designed specifically for professional organizers. And now, let's get started.
I'm so thrilled to have back on our podcast today, Nikki Boyd. Hello, Nikki.
Hi, I'm so glad to be here.
Yes, ma'am. So for our listeners who are newer to the podcast, we have a previous podcast episode that Nikki did with me on our Facebook page. That was back in 2017. And that was one of our more popular interviews that I've ever done because, it's so cool to talk to Nikki about her journey with YouTube and her organizing business and everything that she was doing at that point with one-on-one coaching, that we thought it would be wonderful to have her back on for like a 2019 update. So Nikki and I are just going to chat. Thank you guys for listening in. So Nikki, hello, friend. I am amazed by you. I know that you have published a book this year. Basically, you just tell me, like, what is going on with you in 2019?
Oh, it's just amazing. I mean, just so, it's a journey that I never thought I would be going on, and I wouldn't change it for the world. And so the book has been doing great. It's just, if you had asked me 2 years ago if I ever thought I would be an author, I'd be like, yeah, right.
Really? Okay.
Yes. Never was on my goal sheet or anything. I just never had thought about it. And this journey just takes you places that you just never just imagine.
Tell us, okay, so when over the last 2 years did that really become a project that you decided was going to happen, and the process of what went into it? Because I know it is a major undertaking.
It is. Over the last, I would say 4 years, I have been, every now and then I would get contacted by, publishers about writing a book. And I just never felt it was the time. I was just like, no. And then my publisher, this publisher for this book, reached out, and I just loved everything about them. I just felt like it was the right time for me. I had a lot to say. It was time. And I jumped on it, and it was a year journey. And boy, was it a journey. It was a journey, but it so paid off. I'm really happy with how the book turned out, and I feel really proud about it.
That's amazing. So if you don't mind me digging in a little bit, at this stage in your business and, with how much you have grown your following, when the book publishers were approaching you, with this obviously the one that you ended up following through on, did they bring the idea to you, or were they just kind of saying, like, we really want to sort of put your videos and your point of view into a book? What do you think?
Well, they left it up to me as far as the creative part of it, like, what did I want in a book? Mm-hmm. So they basically reached out, and they just wanted to, they knew I was, a professional organizer. They knew I had the YouTube channel, and what did I want in a book? And they were a smaller publishing company. I've been reached out by larger ones, but it was I would be very independent. So yeah. It was like they were not hands-on. They just wanted you to meet your deadlines and not a lot of feedback. Where this company was more hands-on. So, I had direct contact with them, and I needed that, and I knew I needed that. And so they listened, and they challenged, and it was just the perfect fit. It was just the perfect fit.
Well, that's amazing. Nikki, you sent me a copy with 2 beautiful bookmarks and the beautiful bag. I did a little book reveal video even on my YouTube channel, because I was like, it's not every day that my friend Nikki
I know.
publishes a book and sends it to me like in this most at home with Nikki presentation. I mean, girlfriend, it was great. It made me feel very special.
I am so glad you liked it. I tell you, it was a lot of 2 a.m. Writing sessions. I tell you that.
I can imagine.
Because I was kicking off the business at the same time. It's like you're running your business, and then and I'm not. Don't get me. Writing, that was a challenge for me alone. So just getting in that whole kind of mind space. So it was definitely a challenge.
I noticed that, just even in looking at it, that the way that you organized the structure, because I've seen and read a few organizing books out there, not all of them, but it seems kind of like every organizer sort of has to approach it in their own way. And so I love how you really broke things down by room and incorporated so many of your tips, not only for organizing, but like decorating and making it in the at home with Nikki style.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. Because in my belief, when there's more to organization than just kind of having the order part of it. There's about bringing that feel to home and making home really something that is a pleasurable place for you. And so I wanted that in the book. I wanted to take all those different aspects and really, when you come home, that you really feel good about your space. And so that's kind of what I wanted to bring to the book.
Yeah. Oh, I absolutely love it. So tell us what that's been like. I mean, just from a business standpoint with you, maybe just update us. Are you still offering the same things we were talking about 2 years ago? You had a subscription box, you were doing virtual coaching, you were doing in-home organizing, you were growing your team, and you were still doing your YouTube channel. Are you doing all that? And have you also added on more?
Oh my God. I tell you, Jen, somebody needs to slow me down. But so the subscription box I am no longer doing.
Okay.
That is the baby that I will tell anyone, do your research and think long and hard before you go. That's a whole nother ball game. And I learned that going in. And so it was just really taking up too much time and pulling me away from what my passion was.
Mm-hmm.
So that is gone.
Okay.
Still doing a lot of the virtual organizing. Absolutely love that. In-home organizing. But I'm trying to now put in a greater focus with working with businesses. So like going into businesses and helping them organize their break rooms, which is a challenge for a lot, their processes, reception areas, those kind of spots. So I'm really looking at kind of marketing more there, working with real estate agents that, kind of, I'm looking to work with other professions that have the same clientele that I have. And so also I'm kicking off a home stationery line coming soon. And so that's going to be exciting. That has been a whirlwind, and we're trying to get that all finalized there. And so again, give a lot of tools as you're trying to organize your life and your home and things like that. I have things like honeydew cards that you can use for your spouse, and just different things you can use to help bring order to the home. Along with meal planning, I'm starting a meal planning service where not necessarily for, kind of the, not your typical meal planning service, but more of taking that load off of a family of having to decide what to have for dinner.
Love that.
And so we're trying to implement things that will kind of be hands-on with helping people bring order to their home, and we kind of take on that task for them. So I have my hands in so much, and I'm a brand ambassador for iDesign now and T Forte. So and also with Tide. So that's kind of been taking up some time too.
Yeah.
There. So
yeah. Bringing as a brand ambassador and doing those, what I assume is more sponsored content in your blog and your YouTube. Was that something that has really developed over the past 2 years, or were you already doing some of that before as well?
I was doing some of it, not to the level I am now. At first, it would be more, I did like the Grove, and you just kind of do sponsored content every now and then. But the brand ambassadorships I'm with now are it's more of an investment. So I'm investing more in doing some PR work for them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, there's a lot more involved than just the being on committees and things like that. So it's a little more involved than just the traditional sponsorship.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So many things I could ask about. Let's just start with this. With all this happening, what is a normal day for you at this point in time?
So we have my schedule structured so that I have dedicated days with clients. So Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday are my client days. So anybody can squeeze in. If you're a client, you can squeeze in there. Mondays are my film days. Those are the days that I work on content. And then Fridays are my planning days. Those are the days that I can kind of clean up from all the craziness of the week. And then we're starting this new thing, and I have to let you know how it turns out, because we're not quite sure about this. But we're thinking about the first week of every month is my down week, where I don't see any appointments, I don't do any filming, and I'm able to do all my planning for content and, you know, the business and get all that stuff rolling. So we decided we'll see how it goes.
That makes a lot of sense, just to sort of take a big chunk of time to wrap your brain around like the next 30 days without having to go too far in the future, like knowing what the whole quarter is going to look like, because that can be very
and then it'll give me time to do my social media. I can pre-plan my posts to get that all done, you know, just kind of get some stuff done.
Let me circle back on, you said you were doing more things with businesses, and that you include that sort of in your normal client days that you mentioned, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So is that still all local in Charleston, or are you traveling at all with any of these more like business clients yet?
I have not traveled with any business clients yet, so it's all local currently. But I am not, you know, I am looking forward to it. So I'm open to that, definitely.
That's awesome. Wonderful. And then so with your virtual clients, are you still having people like from all over the world who reach out to you?
Yes. It actually, what I love about it is it's the relationship building, you know, because we build these relationships, and a lot of my clients, you know, around the world are repeat clients. So I worked with them last year. They're back again this year because they're either moved or, you know, they have another space. And so it's really been wonderful building those relationships in the clientele. So I've been enjoying that, but that's really incredible.
I wonder, do you sort of find the time that you're working one-on-one with those clients is also sort of like a downtime for you, because all you're doing is concentrating on them instead of like the 14 projects in your own business?
Well, yes. It's kind of my fun time.
Yeah.
We're laughing, we're having a good time. You know, it's just my fun time. And I started something recently that has been working out great with the virtual session. So it used to be I would be on the computer with them for the 2-hour period. And so that can be a long time to be on the computer. And I started thinking, well, how can I, number one, service more people and maximize the time with, you know, the client? And so I broke down to the sessions are now shorter. They're 30 minutes to an hour, depending on what the client's needs are. And we more so get our game plan together in the sessions, and we look at the space and we work out things, and then they implement off camera. And then we come back and we reassess, you know, and move on to the next. And that's been working beautifully. We love that.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
What do you think has been maybe one of your biggest learning or growth moments just as a businesswoman over the past year or two?
I think for me is the management of teams, because I, as a creative, I'm good on the creative part. You know, if you need a video, if you need me to organize a space, I'm good there. But when you have, you know, I've been a one-man show for so long, and then you have this team, it's a whole different ballgame. And so just finding that way to really, you know, get them to see how I work, my vision, and, you know, productivity and all of that. So that has been my challenge there.
Yeah. I can imagine, like, when you're a creative person and you're used to like the rules sort of live in your head, because you know your taste, you know your style, you know how things are going to go. And then having to actually communicate that and turn that into processes for other people to actually help you is painful. It is so hard.
Oh my goodness. It is. And then, you know, I tend to be a control freak with that, because you know, it's like, okay, you know, but, and I finally feel like with my team, I'm getting to the point where we're clicking, you know, for the longest time we were doing our thing, but now I feel like everybody is more independent, and that's what I've been striving for, is to get that independence where they don't rely so much on me. And they can just go out there and do it themselves.
And how big is your team now?
So now we're up to 8 people.
Wow. And
So that's
they are all local. So you guys see each other every week?
the majority are local,
Okay.
but we do have now. I do have my marketing manager is in Charlotte.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. Awesome. And tell me, is your husband still playing a major role in the company, or does he? How are things with him with what he does for the business?
He's the business manager, and he's still
Okay.
doing his thing. And he's the business manager and everything else. You know how you put in the job description all other duties that apply?
Yeah.
Those are all other duties. I work him pretty hard.
Good for him. Yeah. No, I hear you. Okay, so Nikki, now that you do have a team of 8, I know that as your company is growing, that it really necessitates sort of a bigger company vision and more of a culture for what you guys are doing. So what kind of, new ideas have you come up with for that part?
So one thing that we're doing around the office is because currently we're an office, and so we're going to transition a little bit to being a little bit of a showroom also. And we want our motto to be, when you come in, we want you to snoop. Go in anyone's desk. Yeah, go in the bathroom, under the sink. Go anywhere you want in our office, and you can snoop. And every space is going to have those different organization components. Like we have a cabinet now that it just arrived last week, and when you open it, when you go into Brooke's office, it looks like just an office cabinet, but when you open it, it's actually going to be a pantry. And
Wow.
so so we're just going to put those little nice surprises in there. So that's going to be a lot of fun.
That just sounds so like at home with Nikki branding. It's so good. And it's like you really want to live your brand and live your culture. So
Absolutely.
Even down to the smallest detail in your office, that makes perfect sense that you would want that. And what kinds of people actually are coming into your office on a regular basis? Is that clients or?
Mostly, and that's how we get our clients a lot of times.
Really?
When they come in, we get a great response from our office, and it's just a lot of business people. So because we're in that kind of business area, so they'll walk in with this and that, and that's how we kind of sell them on our services. A lot of times they're looking at us like we're crazy, like, what is it that you do? So I still get those questions a lot, but and then we're starting to do these real estate mixers.
Okay.
And we're going to pull them off every month, where we invite agents out to the office for a little mixer, get them juiced up with a little wine and, chit chat.
Yeah.
And let them see the office and things like that. So
that's extraordinarily innovative, Nikki, because I don't believe I have ever heard of any professional organizing company that maintains a showroom or a physical office really at all that serves as like a marketing and sales tool for clients. So I love that. It's almost, what I'm picturing is that, it's one thing to see your house on YouTube, but you can't have people come over every day, and no professional organizer can do that.
That's right.
But it's if you have them come into your office, which is of course perfectly styled and curated, and they can snoop around in the cabinets, it's like they're walking into that Instagram vision of, this is what we can do for you. Like, this is our aesthetic. This is how good a functioning office can look and feel like. I mean, wow.
And it sells itself, because even we have every business in our complex has become our client, because they have come in our office and they're sold. They're like, we want this at our office. And so they have brought us into their office. And so, we want it to be that marketing tool.
That blows me away. That's so brilliant. Whose idea was that? It was yours. It had to have been.
I have too much time on my hand, I think, sometimes. Like, it's usually about the 1:00 in the morning when I need to be asleep. I come up with these ideas.
That's when it happens. That's the creative brain at work.
Yes.
Or if you sleep on it, then sometimes something will just occur to you first thing in the morning, I've noticed.
Yeah. I have to keep a notebook next to my bed, because I have to jot it down. That's how I have to think.
That makes me think to ask you, what else is there in your daily sort of productivity toolkit that is really important to you? I mean, obviously being able to keep notes, but what else do you do to just keep staying on top of things the way that you do?
You know, one thing, Jen, that I have started doing that I love is I used to try to plan out my week ahead of time and just plan. And I stopped doing that. And I started just planning my day on the day at the beginning. The first 20 minutes of my day, I come in here, I sit down, and I plan out what I'm going to do for that day. I already know it's, my team handles the schedule of what clients here and there. So that's already plugged in. But what am I doing outside of that? I plan in that day, and it works out so beautifully for me because it's like it's fresh on my mind. I'm in that, kind of motivation of what I want to do and what I need to do. So it really has been working out great. So
I have to agree with you on that. It's really smart not to get too far ahead because you waste time making this beautiful, immaculate schedule for the week that you will never be able to stick to.
Yeah. Or too many roadblocks will come in, and then you're like, okay, well, you'll feel the disappointment and not, hitting the mark on your schedule.
Oh my gosh, that's so relatable. I couldn't agree more.
Yes.
What else is it? Is there anything else that's just important to you in terms of your self-care as an entrepreneur? Because I mean, you are the brain behind all of this. So what do you do to like really make sure that you're taking care of you?
Well, one thing is I don't take myself too seriously, and I can have a ton on my plate, but honestly, I tell my team this all the time, and I tell them, don't take it. Nothing is going to fall apart if we make a mistake. Don't take yourself too seriously. And as long as you come in to 100%, then we've done what we can do, And so when I come in, I don't put the pressure on myself to be everything to everybody. I just come in and do the best that I can do for the day. And when it's time to go home, I am home. And I do work later, so what I do is I break it up into components of I'm here during, I typically work from home on Mondays, but I'm here Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And when I leave, I go spend time with my husband. We have dinner, we relax. And then maybe around 11 o'clock, that's when that sparkle time clicks. I've taken care of him and the pups. And then that's when I go back into my creative mode.
Yeah.
So, but it's given me enough breather from it at home with Nikki to kind of regroup.
Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah. That's so good.
And I'm going on vacation next week, so I'm happy about that.
You deserve one, I think.
I am ready. So,
well, that is just awesome. So you said at the beginning of this, you said this year is flying by. Is there anything, is there anything you're already looking at for 2020, or are you sort of like adhering to your plan of just like, I'm not going to plan too far ahead, just concentrate on this month, this day, and so on?
That's such a hard question because, and I'll tell you why it's a hard question. Many people think that I'm type A. You can look at my, and you think, I am absolutely not. I am probably the most spontaneous person that you ever want to meet in your life. And my team, we were laughing about it the other day. They were like, people just don't know you, that you're so fun. You are so not type A. And so it's like, I can come in one day and just give out an idea and say, this is what we're going to do. And so they never know what they're walking into. So to see what's coming in 2020, oh my gosh, I have no clue.
That's interesting. I completely, I can relate to that. I have lots of big ideas for the future, but then when it gets really down to it, I don't like to stick to a plan too much.
No.
But it sounds like your sense of humor is like one of the biggest assets that you have.
I would say that. I would say that. Yeah. Yes. It keeps me sane, it's just, and I feel like and I'm just a believer in what's meant for me is meant for me. I just need to work hard, be a good person, do what I'm supposed to do. And what's meant for me is going to come to me. And that's just my belief. And that's why I'm like, I just, welcome it as it comes and try to make smart decisions along the way. So.
Well, Nikki, I am so inspired by you. I know that many of our listeners have been longtime fans of yours and are really thrilled to get to see you turn this into a professional organizing business and now a business organizing business. I want to tell everybody, if they didn't know about your book or haven't looked into it yet, it's called Beautifully Organized, and they can find it on your website or at Amazon, of course. And also just share with everybody. I know that most of them know, but you're At Home with Nikki on YouTube. Where else can they find you? And
At Home with Nikki everywhere.
Okay.
It's At Home with Nikki, and that's Nikki, but all the social media, IG and YouTube and everywhere.
So let me also ask this. If they happen to be in Charleston, can they come in to the showroom/office, or is it by appointment only?
No, absolutely. I've had so many viewers come by. I've had so many wonderful experiences with my viewer friends, and they come by and we have wine, we sit and chat, we have a good time, and I love it.
That's like a dream come true. You just drop by on your favorite YouTube star and have wine and this like organized utopia. I mean, girlfriend, you are living the dream. You made all this happen, and I'm so impressed. So good.
Oh, thank you.
Yay.
Thank you. And thank you, because let me stop and thank you, because you are such an amazing I refer people to you all the time. In fact, yesterday, I just referred someone else to you. I refer people to you all the time because you are just such a natural, relatable person when you're trying to get in this business. And I love that. So thank you for everything you do.
Well, thank you for saying that. I kind of have a similar goal as you do, which is just that I don't want to take myself too seriously. And I know that so many organized people will get stuck in that trap of perfectionism and anxiety and self-doubt. And I'm like always just trying to, toot that horn of like, you can do this. That's and right. It's okay to have that sense of humor and not follow your plan exactly and let things kind of come. And
make mistakes.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. If you're not making mistakes, then something's wrong.
Right. Right. Well, thank you so much. Okay, we're gonna have to do we're gonna have to book you back now on the podcast for another 2-year check-in, and I cannot even imagine all that will have happened by that point for your brand and your business.
I love it. I love it.
All right, thank you, Nikki, and we will see all of you guys next time.
Thank you for listening to the Pro Organizer Studio podcast. If you'd like to learn more about time-saving services and resources for professional organizers, visit www.proorganizerstudio.com. And if you'd like to get Jen's roadmap to success for launching and growing your professional organizing business, go straight to www.poroadmap.com.